We have started to, just so everyone knows, we have here at the happy hour, we have started to look actively for awards that Connor is good enough to get nominated for, but not win. Because we like that bit so much.
Yes.
We want him to, so like,
second.
so anyone out there, like we put him up for a Webby
got you
Award.
one right here.
Yeah, what do you got?
I got you one right here. Because he hosts this show 4 out of the 5 days a week. Jay hosting right now,
Yeah.
right? So you can have a Fantasy Football Happy Hour Host of the Year award. He's certainly good enough to win that.
Yep.
Right, but he won't.
But because he's not the only one who does it, well then.
Yeah, that's going to be a peacocky.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you want a strong bet, Connor gets nominated but loses Host of the Year in the Peacockies at the end of the year.
I actually recently found out, it's like the 40 under 40, like Sports Business Journal does that for sports business as well. Connor came 41st. So yeah, I just narrowly missed out.
Fantasy Football Happy Hour with Matthew Berry.
Happy Friday. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Happy Hour. I don't know why I came back, but here I
I don't
am.
blame you.
Name pilloried when you're not here.
Unbelievable.
It is a Track Shoe Friday. Look, you are often like the runner-up in a lot of prestigious awards, which is exciting. for you.
Prestigious, I wouldn't go that far. I would say awards.
It's there. Well, shout out to Todd Zeal, wherever you may be. Emmy Award-winning, 2-time Emmy Award-winning.
That's
Todd
right.
Zeal.
Not back to back, but 2 out of 3 is pretty good.
Who are the famous runner-ups of all time, Matthew? Put you on the spot.
The famous runner-ups of all.
It was
time.
Scorsese, but then he won for The Departed.
How long did DiCaprio come close before he won for the
DiCaprio.
right?
Yeah, Scorsese. What's her name? Erica. What's the soap
lost
opera?
that?
Susan Lucci.
Lost
Susan
me.
Lucci.
Not soap opera
No,
guy.
Susan
Yeah,
Lucci.
that's the one I was looking for.
Whatever.
Spliff
Hillary?
McGriff says I'm the Buffalo Bills of awards.
Hillary.
Someone's got to be Josh Allen on this show.
Connor is the Buffalo Bills of
there you go.
awards.
There we
Spliff
go.
McGriff.
Don't worry, this is the year.
Yeah, this is the year. Josh Allen
By the way,
with
everything seems
no
fine.
defense.
Spliff McGriff
Cole
from the
Bishop.
top rope. That's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, I like that.
The Minnesota Vikings of awards.
No,
you can do
that
as
is whatever
well.
that was last night is not me.
I don't
Good
know.
Lord.
Hey, before we get into it, just very quickly, I just want to give a shout out real quickly. So tomorrow, Saturday, October 25th, my daughters, Brooke and Samantha, will turn 14 years old. And so they drink for free. I'm not going to be on the air tomorrow to wish them a happy birthday. So they drink for free. There's an asterisk there, of course, because they're 14. So
Right.
it's Shirley Temples. They get Shirley Temples.
Right.
They get milkshakes, apple juice, whatever it is. But they do drink for
Apple
free.
juice at 14?
Yeah, whatever. They're 14. Whatever.
Okay.
They like when my wife and I go out for beverages, they'll get Shirley Temples. They like that as well. But anyway, my daughters are amazing and smart and kind and beautiful and a handful, and my wife and I are in over our heads. But they've turned into amazing young women, and I couldn't be more proud of them, and I love them, and I'm so excited to celebrate their birthday with them tomorrow. So because I'm not, what's the point of having a TV show if you can't occasionally wish a happy
That's right.
birthday?
Happy birthday to Samantha
your
and Brooke.
daughters. So happy birthday, Brooke and Samantha. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
Can't wait for the birthday party. I'm having 14 teenage girls over at the house, my wife and I,
Yeah, good luck.
for a sleepover. So what could possibly?
At least you don't have anything to do Sunday.
Yeah, I'm literally because of this. Like we were flying to Pittsburgh. Jay and I are flying to Pittsburgh because Fantasy Football pregame is live from Acrisure Stadium Sunday morning,
Your favorite
11
stadium.
a.m. Eastern.
Yes. We'll see if you get in.
On Peacock and YouTube, I'm a company man. Yeah, we'll see if I get in. There may be a security guard or two that I have words with.
Is Sims ready to do the Barry's Best segment if he needs to? If they don't let you in after he slandered the good name?
Maybe. But I'll just say here is that but I'm taking the latest flight out because I want to spend all day with the kids. So
so you're going to be in a bit of trouble.
Well, you and producer Damien and Lawrence are
gallivanting around Pittsburgh.
Exactly. Painting the town red there. I'll be with a bunch of teenage girls.
There you go.
Trying to control the chaos with my wife, my poor wife. Jonathan Medici, 7, says, where are Barry's kids on the FFHH daughter power rankings? That's a good question. Because Jay, of course, Jay has 3.
Yeah.
Lawrence has 1.
Right.
No, Lawrence has 2. I'm sorry. Lawrence has 2. Lawrence has 2 daughters. And you may, or we don't know.
None confirmed. None confirmed.
None confirmed.
Yes.
But,
Unofficial.
But listen, Connor's a good-looking guy who, was single for a while. So
We'll
you
give him
never
one.
know.
We'll spot him one.
I think that gets us to 10.
Let's
That's the
include
point.
him.
Yeah.
There's one out there. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, it's
Good
funny
thing
that
my wife doesn't watch this show.
Stuntman Chuck 85. Meanwhile, Jay Croucher, whose kids are these? It's funny you say that because as Matthew was talking, I just remember it's my brother's birthday today. So happy birthday, Will. 30 years
birthday,
old.
Will.
Yeah.
There you go. Happy birthday, Will.
Everyone's birthday.
Yes.
All right, it's a Friday show. We have some fun stuff planned, I promise. We're going to answer your questions and what's on tap. Jay and I have pickup lines for Matthew. The Dr. Denny Carter will be back in the house to solve your flexual frustrations. But let's get into the Roto World's player news, of course, to recap Thursday Night Football.
Do we have to?
Yeah, for one side of it, I think so. For the other side, questionable, as the Chargers easily handle business in this game. It's no surprise to see the top 4 fantasy performances come from the Chargers offense. Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey, Kimani Vidal, really nice bounce-back weekend. Oronde Gadsden doubles down right now after a strong week from Gadsden. We got to hear from Ladd on his big game in the win against Minnesota. We got to hear from Gadsden on his comfort level in this offense.
I think it's a great start. It's like, go back, watch the film. I feel like, we still left some out there. And if we just don't beat ourselves, I feel like we're a hard football team to beat.
Your tight end now is becoming a key factor in the passing game.
Yeah, he's a
we didn't
stud.
know much
Yeah.
about him.
No, I saw that in OTA's training camp, and I knew he was special. And he's getting his opportunity, and he's playing like a vet. So it's just awesome.
Were you comfortable when you just first got here, or did it take a little bit of time?
I think it took a little bit of time, just because it was my first time, being out here, and I didn't know, how the practice structure was. I didn't know how hard we were going sometimes. But, eventually, you just playing football at the end of the day. So, yeah, you get your way, and you find your rhythm.
So a couple of things here first for people that were watching it, like just the difference in size between McConkey and Gadsden is like amazing.
I think Gadsden ate Ladd McConkey in between those interviews.
He might have. By the way, I've never heard Ladd McConkey interviewed. Like he sounds like an accountant.
He's a very normal guy. Very normal guy. Interviewed him at the combine. He's very nice dude.
Lovely.
Very level-headed. Incredible athlete. Just unbelievable athlete. Like,
I have to get rid of TurboTax.
Right.
He really did seem like, well, I think you can take a deduction here, for your home office. It was a little bit of
Ladd
that.
McConkey beat the crap out of you.
Yeah. With one arm tied behind his back. Just to make this very clear.
Let's make no mistake. 6 of the girls coming over to my house tomorrow to beat the crap out of me. So, that's not a
This would be a really good segment. We pit you against random assortment of random things.
Yeah, I like that.
Matthew against 9 squirrels. Yeah. Matthew against
would lose.
Matthew against Ladd McConkey, but Ladd McConkey's legs are tied together and one arm behind
Still
his back.
lose.
Yep. It's working. We have a lot of off-season.
Yeah,
so
a lot of off-season to think about it. Look, I think for one person, we'll get to him in a second, I thought this was really positive. Ladd McConkey becoming Ladd McConkey, the guy we all drafted in the beginning, 42% target share. He's had 25 targets over the last 2 weeks, at least 9 targets each of the past 3 games. That's the Ladd McConkey we drafted. Great. He's awesome. Since week 5, he's been the 6th best wide receiver in fantasy. Oronde Gadsden. Nice call by you, Jay. You bet the over on his prop. That was your best bet from last night. That cashed. Well done. And Gadsden, who we've talked about, Connor, quite a bit in terms of we like the skill set. We talked about it in the preseason as well. He was in some of my preseason content as well. He's showed last week was not a fluke. 3rd straight game with at least 5 receptions and 68 yards. He's averaging 20 fantasy points over that stretch. They were looking for him early and often, 21% target share in this game.
Well, that's what was awesome, right? Is that you didn't have to wait. It wasn't a weird script.
Yep.
He was just involved.
Yeah, he only had 5 targets, but that was because they didn't really have to throw it all in the 4th quarter. So target share, very healthy. Oscar Robertson's in trouble. The big O.
Big
It
O.
might be Oronde Gadsden. 9 times first-team All-NBA, triple-double. Oronde Gadsden just racking up 1 million yards. So I think this offense going forward, I think Ladd is the number 1 guy. And then I think Gadsden might be, there's a very good chance Gadsden's second in the pecking order.
Yeah, they also looked for Keenan Allen, and so there's some big chunk plays, and this performance, especially on a standalone national window, like Gadsden's going to get some more attention, and I think they have so many weapons, and Herbert's playing at such a high level, they're going to be able to move it around. But look, for our purposes, are you starting Oronde Gadsden every week? Is he a tight end 1 the rest of the way? Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. So that's sort of asked and answered. I don't know that. So let's talk about. So we've talked about the big O. Let's talk about the small Q.
The little Q.
The little Q. Itty bitty Q.
The little
Mini
Q that couldn't?
Yeah. 0 Q. You see it right here from our friends at NFL Fantasy. Quentin Johnson finished Thursday Night Football with 0 targets. This is the first game of his career that he didn't have a target. Think about that. For the first 2 years of his NFL career, he couldn't catch. They were still throwing on the ball. But now that he's finally good, now that everyone started him, he can't get a target. Quentin Johnson, it's his first career game without a target. He ran 27 routes in this game, literally just cardio. Just doing wind sprints, and because America, because he was on my love list, because I started him in a guillotine league, and because my best bet, Jay's cashed with a Gadsden, and Lawrence's, by the way, was the over on Justin Herbert's rushing, which also cashed fairly early. So for us to go 3 for 3, it was really up to me. I took over on Quentin Johnson's receiving yards.
You melted.
And I,
To be fair, it was a sweat.
I mean, well, it was 49.5. It's like one bomb gets me there, right?
Of course.
The premise was the Vikings blitz a lot, which they did. In theory, Quentin Johnson would be in single coverage. They've given up a lot of deep passes, the Vikings.
I have.
All the theory was right.
Yeah.
It just was completely wrong because Justin Herbert, so I was very focused on this. Justin Herbert would even look to the side of the field that he was on. Like once it started to be like, whoa. Like once we cashed those first two, I'm looking, and every single play I'm looking, wait, is QJ hurt? He's out there. Okay, one. Okay, he's in motion. He's at the top of the screen. Okay, and Herbert drops back, and is he looking on that side? No, he's looking over there. Like he doesn't even look to that side.
Yeah.
Like it was awful. It's worth noting over the last 2 games, he's got an 8% target share. He's got 15 receiving yards per game. It's averaging. He's wide receiver 62 over the last 2 games. Now, that's such a small sample size, and obviously when you go 0 for 0, that skews it. But, do you feel like – I don't know that you can trust Quentin Johnson until you see it again.
No, because now it's a trend, right? The first 4 games, Jay, he blew past this number.
Yes, he did.
And the targets were 7, 9, and 13. The receiving yards were hovering around about 80 to 85 on average. The last 3 games, he's not even close to this usage or looks and the actual raw stats.
And the weird part is that this sort of coincides with Oronde Gadsden's emergence over the last 3 games. But, they're such different players. That's the part I don't get. Is if you told me they were going to have a tight end that would, but he's their deep threat.
And then Trey Harris gets the touchdown though.
Yes.
So now that you have 2 players kind of eating into the targets.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of things. One is that QJ, a lot of the longer developing routes, the offensive line has just completely collapsed. Now they're getting healthier. Maybe that can correct, but I think a lot of his slide has coincided with Justin Herbert just being under siege, just needing to get it out quicker. So there's not as much deep stuff. The other thing is that he's had this hamstring issue. Maybe he's not 100% right. And then but the biggest thing is that it just never made sense that Ladd McConkey wasn't going to be the number 1 wide receiver in this offense.
Right.
Ladd McConkey's the best receiver, and now he's finally showing that. And so I think QJ is now tied for second going forward with Keenan Allen, and Gadsden might be ahead of both of them. So I don't think you feel good about starting QJ until you see him show what he did in the first.
No, for sure. I mean, listen, the argument would be is this is a team that Herbert's playing at a great level, and as we've talked about, they're one of the top teams in the NFL in terms of pass rate over expectation. So maybe there's enough volume here to get you there, especially because QJ's game isn't predicated on volume. Again, he's a guy that can make your day in 2 or 3 plays. Honestly, 1 play if he connects on a long one. So, but it just that was brutal. That was brutal last night. I apologize, America.
Apology accepted.
Thank you.
Australian, but I'll accept the apology on behalf of America. The problem is that no passing offense can support 4 guys to be relevant fantasy-wise. And there's QJ's been the odd man out lately. It's hard to support 3 guys, let alone unless you're the Eagles with Goddard, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith, and there's no other passes to anyone. But I do think that going forward, he's very, very possibly 4th in that pecking order.
Second straight game for 25 or more fantasy points for Justin Herbert. I like that he's using his legs. He's averaging a career-high 31 rushing yards per game on the year. So, again, shout out to our guy, plus money, Lawrence Jackson, who
Good call, Lawrence.
That was his best bet yesterday was Justin Herbert at plus money over on his rushing prop, and he cleared it easily. Nice game from Kimani Vidal, who now has 19 or more fantasy points in 2 of the past 3. Played 81% of the snaps through the first 3 quarters. Looked the part. Looked the part. Big bounce back week. No signs of Amari and Hampton coming back anytime soon.
So really right now it's just a matter of Vidal staying healthy because he's going to be the guy. And I think also, Jay, you love what you see in the pass game a little bit from Vidal, at least capable in the pass game when he gets those opportunities on top of the bulk of the carries.
Yeah, that's the key. And he only had the one reception yesterday, but
his way
takes
a
it
couple
for a
of times.
touchdown. Yeah, and he's going to be the guy in that role. He had 7 receptions across the previous 2 games, so that's definitely a part of it. It's not going to be as easy, given that they were playing with this huge lead, which they're probably not going to have in most games, going up against a very suspect run defense as well in Minnesota. But yeah, Kimani Vidal, I think you feel pretty comfortable starting him until Hampton comes back.
Yeah, for sure.
We got to talk about the Vikings, guys. I mean, it's not just that how bad things were, but it's that the quarterback is now sinking almost everything else.
I mean, look, in fairness to Carson Wentz, listen, he stole a lot of money from my Commanders, so I am not. I mean, he should have given it back based on what he did there, right?
Wow.
But in fairness,
Strong
like
take.
he was
giving yours back for yesterday's performance?
Yes, I would whatever. Someone get me Ron Rivera. I want to fire him again. For the love of God. There's a Ron Rivera special. But you know what? Say what you want about Ron Rivera. He got us Jayden Daniels. He was so
That's
brutal
right.
in the 4th year.
Unintentionally.
Yeah, that's my favorite stat is, by the way, that when Ron Rivera took over the Commanders, they had the number 2 overall pick. They took Chase Young. 4 years later, where he had full control of the entire franchise, they had the 2nd overall pick in the NFL draft. And we got Jayden Daniels.
Full circle.
So, full circle. In fairness to Carson Wentz, he was clearly hurt. He's clearly not 100% healthy. And that offensive line was brutal last night. They clearly missed Darrisaw. He was under siege all night. I don't know that any quarterback would have been super productive in that environment.
No, and he also already holds the ball pretty long. There's times where so that it's a bad combination. He looks like he's playing with a bionic arm.
What was that?
I felt bad for the guy. He's physically.
You ever see those memes where it's just like, for every 100 likes, I'm gonna make his, I'm gonna Photoshop this guy's arm or head bigger or whatever.
It keeps
getting, whatever on that's what I felt like Carson Wentz. Like, I feel like every series it's like
adding padding.
There's a bigger pad, and it's like, what the hell was that?
This is from Brad Rumka. What do we do with our Vikings not named Jefferson or Addison rest of the season? So he's talking about the running backs and the Hockler.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the matchup. I will say next week they're at Detroit. I wouldn't count on any of them. Again, I felt like with the running backs guys that it was sort of hot, it was a hot hand approach. Neither of them got hot. So that was one of the issues.
It's a less lukewarm hand approach.
Exactly. But it felt like they were trying. Aaron Jones gets the first carry, but they sort of mixed and matched those guys. Jones is obviously the pass catching back, but they did throw occasionally to Jordan Mason. They were just trying to get something. He got the 1 reception. Aaron Jones got 2. Xavier Scott even played 13% of the snaps. And I felt like they were just trying to get a spark from anyone, and those guys are both flex plays. And sort of, kind of touchdown-dependent flex plays. Aaron Jones might have a little more value in PPR leagues in terms of because he's more part of the passing game. And you feel better about Mason's ability to fall into the end zone if they get close. But it was bad. Bad day at the office. I think you have to continue starting Jefferson and Addison. We talked about Addison on Wednesday during Blind Date, Connor, and just how productive he's been as well.
Yes.
Since he returned in Week 14, he's the 14th. In Week 4, he's the 14th best wide receiver in fantasy football. Even in a game where they couldn't get anything done, he at least catches the touchdown. Jordan Addison. Jefferson is Jefferson. At what point do they go to Max Brosmer?
I mean, I guess they're just trying to protect him until McCarthy is back. But last night they should have. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
They should have at least given him a look last night because the game was so out of hand that it didn't matter anymore.
Surely it's JJ next week. Surely the ankle just has to magically get better now.
We keep saying that.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree with you. It's hard to trot this version of Wentz out.
I don't think he can play next week in this state.
It's at Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit's secondary, which has been
a
lot of backups, figured it out last week. So it's not some easy walk matchup.
They're going to
It's
get
terrible.
healthier as well. Brian Branch will come back.
Right.
Joseph will probably play that one. The issue is you mentioned that Carson Wentz was under siege. You know who wasn't under siege last week? Daniel Jones against the Chargers pass rush. Like, it's not an amazing pass rush. That's the issue, is that the Vikings quarterback is going to be under siege every game. Sam Darnold was under siege consistently last year.
That offensive line was awful.
So, it's a problem. I'm not sure it's getting fixed.
So, right, to your point about whether the Lions secondary, I mean, like, it's not going to matter if you're running away from Aiden Hutchinson, right? I mean, like, so in terms of next week, by the way, so Vikings upcoming schedule at Detroit, home to Baltimore, home to Chicago, at Green Bay. 3 of the next 4 are divisional games against 3 other really good teams. I mean, the Bears is no longer a gimme. I mean, right?
Their
Bears,
front seven's been playing a lot better the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely. And then at Green Bay, like in 3 weeks, that's going to be tough as well. Aloha Brooks. Should I consider dropping Aaron Jones after waiting this entire time? Yes. Who are you picking up, Aloha Brooks? You can you can consider it. You tell me what's out there, and then I can give you an answer. Yeah. Come on, Aloha. Aloha Brooks is usually so good. That's a bad one. Aloha Brooks.
Yeah, unless his league is very, a nice waiver wire, a rich waiver wire. Ours is not.
No.
When I think of waivers at this stage, I'm looking at some very not fun options.
I had to pick up Marvin Mims. Because
you probably had to pay for him, right?
Yeah, my team's an absolute juggernaut, as we know. Yes. But the reason why it's a juggernaut is I have JSN and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and they're both on bye this week. And so the juggernaut can only go so deep, Matthew. I don't have Jamar Chase sitting on the bench. I had to pick someone up, and unfortunately, it's the Mimler.
Nice humble brag there. Nice subtle flex there. I just don't have these superstars this week because
the excuse-ler part too. It's the bye weeks, not me.
Bowers as well. I don't get him this week.
It's rubbing off on him.
Yeah. By the way, producer Adam, who only has 1 win on the season. Like, this is my Super Bowl. This is my shot.
I got now win.
If I can't win this one,
if I can't
win this one, exactly. If not now, win. Like, it really is one of those things where it's just like. If I actually went 0-14 for the season, like the odds of, that's hard. Like if you actually set out to do that while still setting a real lineup, you know what I mean? Like statistically, the odds of being able to pull that off are so, it's unbelievable. Like I don't think you could do it if you tried. But like,
when you look at it like that, you're actually having a really impressive season, Matthew. The fact that you've contrived to go 0-7.
Yeah, really I mean, I'm undefeated in some way. He had somebody last night. I'm trying to remember who it was. But he had somebody go off that normally hasn't gone off. Like I forget who it was. Or just sort of like.
Was it Ladd McConkey?
It might have been Ladd McConkey.
That dang Jonathan Taylor ruined.
He had McConkey. So my point, but McConkey sucked for the first 4 weeks. Could I,
but it's Ladd McConkey. It's not bad.
But it would have been nice if McConkey had another bad game.
My favorite thing of all you complaining was complaining that Jonathan Taylor scored 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns.
Yeah, but he's done it 60% of the past 5 weeks. This is what he does.
Yes.
It's the third time he scored 3.
But I'm just, there are some games where he doesn't score 3 touchdowns, Jay.
Yeah, less than 50% of them over the past 5 weeks.
Why couldn't it have been one of the games against me where he only scored 1 touchdown or 2?
You know who else Adam started last night? Carson Wentz.
Oh, come on, man.
Carson Wentz.
He's a 1-win team.
You got to play against Carson Wentz.
He's a 1-win team.
Oh, wow.
By the way, I don't have Jayden Daniels. Matthew Stafford's on a bye. I'm hoping Tyrod Taylor starts. Like that's how desperate I am. If Tyrod Taylor doesn't start this weekend,
this matchup is poverty. The starting quarterbacks in this matchup are Carson Wentz and Dylan Gabriel against maybe starting Tyrod Taylor, and you do have Drake May.
I do have Drake May.
You should be collecting a ransom for Drake May and fill out an actionable team.
Yes.
Team's atrocious.
I know it is. I know.
You got no bye week complaints. The only 2 guys you have on bye are Laporta and Stafford. Like
this is. I did lose Mike Evans for the year. I mean, we've had some.
Projected to win by 18.
Adam has Joe Burrow. There's no excuses.
True. And I also have Chase Brown, who sucks.
But he's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, but Joe Burrow going out for the year is what killed Chase Brown's value.
Oh, it'd be so. Adam's starting Alec Pierce. Got to be good if Alec Pierce got deep for 2 big ones.
That's exactly what's happening. Alec Pierce 160
3 for 70 and 2 touchdowns.
That's 1,000%
feeling it. I feel good about that. Alec Pierce props. Fire me up.
I'm literally I'm betting. I'm betting.
Might change my pickup lines.
Yeah, I'm betting the over on Alex Pierce anytime touchdown. Put money on 100%. Anyway, so yes, this is my Super Bowl. I have to win this. I have to win this game.
All right.
Anyway, whatever. It was a disaster last night.
The Week 8 injuries we're tracking.
Dude.
Lamar Jackson coming back from hamstring. We all expect and hope. Bryce Young with the ankle. Kareem Hunt with an ankle and knee injury. Josh Jacobs has been limited this week, still dealing with that calf injury. Alvin Kamara with an ankle. DeAndre Swift once again dealing with a groin injury throughout practices of the week. Emeka Egbuka has also been limited limited as he continues to deal with that hamstring. A.J. Brown has a hamstring, Nico Collins has a concussion, and Garrett Wilson will be out with the knee injury. But let's rewind back here, guys.
And Mason Taylor, right? Mason Taylor is questionable.
Yeah, he's been kind of fighting different things throughout the year, so I expect him to play. Jets coach Aaron Glenn tells reporters that Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson are out. Tyrod Taylor is questionable, but trending in the right direction. Glenn will not tell the media. He was very combative with the media again today about not wanting to tell them who will be the quarterback.
What a franchise.
So good luck to you.
What a franchise.
Maybe Tyrod will play, maybe he won't.
Is it Clark Brady or Brady Clark or whatever the guy's name?
Well, Clark Brady's the happy hour regular.
No.
Brady Cook is the Jets' third-string quarterback.
Brady
right.
Cook. Maybe it's
very
Brady
easy
Cook.
to mix those two up, though. One watches 12 hours of our show, the other hopefully.
You don't know. The other one might as well.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe that's why we haven't heard from him, honestly, since the season started.
Brady Cook is like, Tyrod and Justin got this. Let me go watch Happy Hour.
Yeah, unfortunately, Brady Cook, he's not actually a real person. He's just someone that Aaron Glenn created on Madden.
I was just going to say, Brady Cook definitely sounds like either a quarterback you made up on Madden or like if you're watching a teen drama about a football show, like QB1.
Quarterback's Brady Cook.
Yeah,
100%.
Cook, right? Like Friday Night Lights kind of thing. That's
Brady Cook's fighting Matt Saracen. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
He's absolutely right.
Like, I don't know if Brady Cook can go this week. Mama, I love Brady Cook. It's like, it's all that, right?
It's bad.
It's too cliche.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I don't know if Jamar Chase's props can get high enough in this game with Sauce Gardner.
So I was just going to say.
You were telling me before the show was at 89?
89, no, it's too low.
Give me the over.
Yeah, no.
His ladder bet all the way up to 140.
Yeah, it's this is the type of thing that kind of breaks the matrix. Like how high can Jamar Chase go? Like Puka Nacua was getting set higher when he was healthy than Jamar Chase this week. Jamar Chase should be set as high as a wide receiver has ever been set. Like Joe Flacco, there's no Sauce Gardner, and the secondary breaks down in the communication constantly. And Joe Flacco throws 1 million times every game, and Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in the sport of football. So yeah, he's going to go.
Sport of football.
He should go for 90+.
All right, we got a question here from Bobby Showtime. Glenn, that's a good username.
Yeah,
Glenn is going to have to announce the quarterback with a WWE walkout introduction just to lose by 30. Yeah.
Doing the
all that just for this. Just tell us who's playing.
Who do you think, Connor?
Tyrod.
Tyrod.
Yeah.
You're a Jets insider.
I think
you host the world's second most popular Jets podcast.
That's very true.
With Badlands.
Yep, only behind Worse Lands.
Worse Lands. Everyone loves Worse Lands.
Everyone's waiting for Worse Lands.
Yeah.
I think that he just wants the Bengals to prep for Justin Fields rushing. I don't think it matters that much. I really don't. But
you can't play you're not allowed to play mind games when you're 0-7.
No. Just go quietly into the night.
Yeah.
Don't be allowed 0-8. Do not be allowed 0-8.
I mean, it's just so. I've got my advantage.
Yeah. I really got them on the ropes now.
Does Aaron Glenn think he's the Penguin? Like, what is he doing?
I don't know.
He's got some master plan.
Meanwhile, Cincinnati, like, all right, well, if it's Justin Fields, I guess we actually don't have to worry about the secondary.
Right.
If it's Tyrod Taylor, I mean, what's the massive? What are they preparing for that they wouldn't prepare for with the other? Like,
no, this feels like when a college coach won't announce the week 1 starter because he has a rushing quarterback and a pocket passer. You don't do that in the NFL, especially when you're 0-7.
No, and
it's amateur hour.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, it was like, I'll tell you, my favorite one of all time, and I'll never forget this, and I didn't have the balls to do this, but Matt Rule, I remember when Matt Rule was coaching the Carolina Panthers, and I'm at the Combine, and all these coaches do their press conferences. Quarterbacks were. But like he had just come into the team. He just came into the team. Like
is it Darnold?
It might have been Darnold and Baker. Might have been Darnold and Baker.
When Baker was a practice squad safety.
I forget who. It doesn't matter because the point is, the point of the story is Matt Rule gets up and he says, "Hey, we're going to training camp. No jobs are guaranteed. We're gonna have a competition. I'm gonna bring out the best of all these guys. And we're gonna have a competition for every job." For the starting role. And I so wanted to I didn't have the balls to do it, but I so wanted to raise my hand. I said, Coach Rule, I'm just curious, what does Christian McCaffrey need to show you to earn the starting running back job? You know what I mean? Because that was all he had. But he was just like, every position's open. No one's guaranteed a spot.
A very college attitude.
Right. And I just wanted to be like, really? So Chris McCaffrey's going to have to compete for his job? There's a chance that
and I wonder who his backup was at the time. Was it Mike Tolbert?
It might have been Mike Tolbert. Or Mike Davis.
Mike Davis? Mike Davis, not Tolbert.
Mike Davis. Yeah. Anyway, so I didn't have the balls to do that. But But it's that kind of thing where you're just sort of like, stop it. Like, it's a competition between the guy we just drafted,
You know what the crazy thing is Matt Rule went 7-10 that year in Carolina, and his 3 quarterbacks, so one of them was P.J. Walker, which is the one that most people forget. The other 2, Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, who both might finish top 5 in MVP this year.
Yeah.
Like, literally,
it's remarkable.
It's unbelievable.
I will say I met Matt, then 2 years later, I met Matt Rule at the Combine. Incredibly nice.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Matt Rule.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out in the NFL.
But I had like a 20-minute conversation with him. Could not have been a nicer, more engaging guy. Really liked him.
Some guys are just meant to be college coaches in that atmosphere. All right, we got a little full Commanders update here, Matthew. Dan Quinn ruled out Jayden Daniels, as we all know, for Week 8. Deebo Samuel practiced in full on Thursday, and so did Terry McLaurin. So some good news on the wide receiver front.
By the way, for whatever it's worth,
everything went out. I'm just going through it.
The audio, okay.
I got nothing.
So, are we still in the air? I don't even know if we're still in the air. All right, Kevin, our stage manager, is nodding our head because all the audio went out. I can't hear anything.
It's just us out here.
It's just us out here.
This combo is for us and us only.
Well done, Kevin.
Yeah. So anyway, Marcus Mariota will get a start against Kansas City. What could possibly go wrong? I will say this: Mariota has beaten the Chiefs before, so you never know. I suppose the Traveler beat them. We just got it back as well. But they're 12.5-point underdogs. If there's a positive here, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel both return to practice. I do think Mariota is a viable starter. I think there could be some junk time. Obviously, he uses his legs, but this is not good for my Commanders. I think my Commanders fall to 3-5.
I think so too.
Yes.
The spread's at 12.5?
It's getting bigger.
It's getting
pushing
bigger.
13.
Right. Yeah.
Close 14.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
I mean, I don't think they're going to win.
Competent.
I want to be very clear, but that's a big number.
Yeah. Particularly if Deebo and Terry McLaurin both go. Like, Mariota is one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league and has been able to run this offense decently well. Falcons game wasn't amazing, but still, he'll be competent.
And the other thing that I'll say that you always think about with backup quarterbacks, especially to your right, like he's a perfect fit for that offense in terms of like his skill set. Like he's not Jayden Daniels, but they do similar things. They run the offense well. There's some like whatever in Baltimore. Cooper Rush, you're replacing Lamar Jackson with Cooper Rush. Right, and you're like, wait, what? Right, Tyler Huntley makes more sense, to back up Lamar Jackson.
That's Pro Bowl quarterback, Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, yes, sir, it is. All that is to say, though, Mariota has gotten all the first-team reps. There's a difference between, a quarterback gets downgraded towards the end of the week, or a backup has to come in at the, into a game, versus Mariota's known all week long. Like, this is what he's going to do. They also have an extra day because it is the Monday night game, so they've got an extra day to prepare. The Chiefs are still going to kill him. But my point is for the world that we care about, can he get the ball to Deebo? Can he get the ball to Terry McLaurin? Could he be a viable, fill-in, especially in a Superflex league? I think yes to all that. I still am not crazy about Ja'Cory Crosskey-Merritt. I do think that, again, given almost a 2-touchdown underdog here, Jeremy McNichols becomes an interesting desperation play.
Yep.
Also starting in your matchup with Adam. Jeremy McNichols.
Yes.
It's featuring all the big stars.
Did Adam pick up McNichols?
Yeah, he's got him for him.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, it is the crappiest of crap. It's so
matchup.
Brutal. It's so brutal.
The total in that one's 47.5, so the line's 12.5. So market's saying 30 to 17 type of game. So you get 17 points. Commander scores 17 points. Someone has to score a touchdown.
By the way, I thought what you were saying is the line in me and Adam's game was 47.5. I'm like, that's probably about right.
No, it's 18.5.
Yeah.
That's what you're figuring.
No, but I just meant the over-under.
Oh, points.
Total points.
That would be something.
Yeah. In a fantasy league.
Don't choke it away.
You're a big favorite.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm extremely nervous. I'm like Michael Jordan shooting a free throw after 20 years in front of a bunch of kids, that kind of level nervous. Because if I lose to 1-6 Adam,
Brady Cook really does start.
Yeah, I'm 0-7. I may have to fire myself. I may rage drop everyone on my team just to cause chaos in the league.
I don't know who I'd bid on.
Well, he would bid on Derek. Yeah, Drake May, Derek Henry. He wants Derek Henry.
Give me him.
Laporta's not terrible.
No.
Chase Brown.
I'll take my Dalton Schultz over your Laporta.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Let's see, Ja'Cory Crosskey-Merritt. there's not much there. It's Xavier Worthy. Someone had been on Xavier Worthy. X. The original X.
Yes. The OG X.
The OG X.
Second year receiver.
All right, Lamar Jackson, guys.
For whatever it's worth, by the way, this is actually a producer Steven show. It feels like a backup producer Pete show, but believe it or not, it's actually a producer Steven.
I think he lost audio. I don't think Steven's at the controls anymore.
No, he just left. He called it a week.
Yeah.
He's like, I've done my duties here.
I can't hear anything. So, all right.
Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson practiced for the third straight day. We'll have an injury designation on Lamar.
He'll play
this afternoon. You would
think he
assume
plays.
Lamar Jackson is going to play. Texans wide receiver Nico Collins didn't practice Thursday. I don't think that's a shock. It's very rare for a player to get through concussion protocol within a week's time.
Yeah, by the way, short week. They played Monday night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for Nico Collins.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz. 15 targets incoming for Dalton Schultz.
Yes.
Yeah. By the way, on that game, I don't understand why the Texans are 2-point favorites.
Neither do I.
Yeah, I don't get that.
That's a weird one.
Line alert was Niners.
Yeah, if you need, and chances are with 6 teams on a bye, you do need some help at a position. Here's some top waiver ads that are available in over 50% of leagues, guys. We just talked about Mariota. Your man, comeback player of the year, Joe Flacco, against a Sauce Gardner-less Jets, is out there as well. How about Tyjae Spears, who has back-to-back games with double-digit target share? Titans are double-digit underdogs in this one. They should be passing quite a bit against your Colts, Jay. And with that groin injury to DeAndre Swift, maybe he doesn't go, but even he does, maybe he's limited. Oronde, who had season highs in snap rate and touches in Week 7, suddenly becomes interesting. What do you think about Tez Johnson as a prospect?
I mean, it's just how many wide receivers in the league are 150 pounds, but...
Right.
The league has changed a lot where you do see a handful of these guys that come in at the combine at 150 to 165. They could fly. He had great speed at Oregon. I mean, could absolutely fly. And Baker throws the ball down the field. So credit to Tez. He's one of those outliers that he just plays tougher pound for pound than a lot of guys his size. As we saw on the screen where he was breaking tackles. I really like him for a 7th-round pick. The Bucs do this every year. They find steals like no one else in that front office with Jason Light. So, yeah, Tez Johnson, while they have all these injuries, is playable in a flex.
Over the last 3 weeks, he's averaging over 12 fantasy points per game. He's scored in back-to-back games as well. We talked about this Dallas matchup. Troy Franklin's out there. Cowboys allow the second most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Your Dalton Schultz, since Week 3, he's a top 8 fantasy tight end. He's tight end 8 over the last however many weeks, 4 straight games with at least 5 catches. No Nico Collins we expect against the Niners. And finally, no team allows more fantasy points to opposing tight ends than the Cincinnati Bengals. Mason Taylor, maybe,
if
especially if the passing game is, we expect an elevated passing game, if Tyrod Taylor's under center.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, the great Denny Carter with
Dr. Denny Carter.
Dr. Denny Carter.
Yes. Yes, Queen.
Wow, I like the two buttons open today.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, well, I was kind of torn because if I have it up here, I don't want to, copy Chris Sims. That's his look, So I have to have it open a little bit.
Yeah, give some eye candy to the ladies out there.
I have been enjoying my Ankle Plus subscription, by the way. I've been sharing the login with some neighbors. People are into it.
I appreciate
I just wanted
that.
Matthew to know.
Hello, Denny. Dr. Carter, back once again for a little Flexual Frustrations. Undershirt today.
Yeah.
I went with it because I just didn't want to tempt the viewing audience so much as I did last week. I felt it was unfair, honestly.
Yeah, too much thirst in your DMs. I get that, Denny. Yeah, you got to quench it a little bit.
Oh, I know you get it.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, most of those were from me, but it's fine. It's all good. I get it.
That's okay.
I'll just watch last week's episode back. I'm totally good. Dr. Carter, question for you. I got a question in as well. So this person writes in and he says, "Dear Matthew, please ask Dr. Carter this for me." He goes, I was at a bar last night, and I saw somebody that had a big back, and I'm a big believer in Baby Got Back. It's my favorite song of all time. As I was checking it out, it occurred to me, should I go with a big back like Tyler Allgeier this weekend?
Against the Dolphins, you should. Listen, in my research and in my degree getting in the area of flexuality, I learned first and foremost there is no body shaming in this area. Okay, we're not going to body shame. If you like a big back, that's okay. And sometimes the bigger the back, the better. And that's what we have with Tyler Allgeier. He's a big old back. And he's playing against the Dolphins, the most extreme run funnel defense in the league. Everybody's establishing it against Miami. They're allowing 5.2 yards per carry. That's the highest rate in the league. 129 rushing yards per game. I think the Falcons are going to run it a bunch here. I'm sure you all agree. And Tyler Allgeier becomes a viable flex as a big old back.
Yep.
Yeah, I mentioned this yesterday in my 10 facts column, but in wins this season, and of course the Falcons are over a touchdown favorite, Tyler Allgeier averages almost 15 touches a game. So yes, if you're into big backs, some people are into big chests, but if you're into big backs, I think Tyler Allgeier is a very viable flex.
Yep, no, I 100% agree. Danny, I want to talk to you about costumes. Some couples like to dress up. Matthew, I know, likes to dress up as a little Christmas elf in the nighttime. And speaking of Christmas, Jaylen Noel.
Magical.
Jaylen Noel, the spirit of Christmas himself. Could be a wide receiver one for the Houston Texans against the Niners. Can you start Jaylen Noel in the spirit of Christmas in your flex, Denny?
Well, however he dresses on Sunday, I think you can, because it's a good slot matchup. And Jaylen Noel is going to be the slot guy for the Houston Texans this week with Nico Collins out. Of course, Nico Collins accounts for almost 25% of the team's targets. A lot of targets to go around. I heard you say Dalton Schultz earlier. Obviously, it could be a big game for him. But, the Niners are allowing the 7th most slot targets this season. Only 3 defenses have given up more receiving yards to slot pass catchers than the 49ers. I think Noel is in play. This Texans offense is gross, of course, but we can go with it in deeper formats, I think.
Danny, unfortunately, sometimes you hit a cold streak, an 0-7 level cold streak, and you run out of options, and the options become very grim. For the Jets, that is Josh Reynolds as their number 1 wide receiver against the Bengals. Could you possibly start Josh Reynolds against the Bengals?
You got to start a win streak at some time flexually, and I think that Josh Reynolds is the start of that here. I'm starting in one league, and by the way, I'm just a little better than Barry in that league. Okay, I'm horrible as well, so I can't really talk. Playing against the Bengals defense stinks. We all know that. Garrett Wilson out. Reynolds led the Jets last week with 46% of the air yards and 9 targets. Should be pass heavy here, I think, if Jamar Chase hits his overs and Joe Flacco continues flinging it. So just for a game script alone, I think Josh Reynolds can get there for fantasy.
By the way, you missed an opportunity there where you could have just said, hey, I'm in a drought.
I almost used the word drought.
Drought would have been good. Just it's out in the desert, the flexual desert.
That's right.
A lot of flexual frustration.
Yes. Thanks for your feedback, Matthew.
Cold streak didn't do it for you.
Right. Haven't scored in a long time. This feels like there was a lot of sort of easy sexual innuendos that you could have played there.
All right,
Connor.
I appreciate the help.
I'm here to give feedback.
Very good,
Dr. Carter.
Listen, Matthew is a master at this stuff.
I really am. There's very little in the world that I'm good at, but that's one of the things that I am good at. One thing that you are good that, Denny, of course, is answering everyone's questions when you do the Roto-World Q&A on YouTube live at 1 o'clock right after this show. I got it, Connor. You don't have to worry about it.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, Denny. My promo would have actually got people to listen and watch the Q&A.
What's your promo?
It's
Go ahead.
okay. People will come.
Thank you, Denny.
right.
We'll talk to you next
Thanks,
week.
guys.
Check him out on YouTube at 1 o'clock live, the Roto-World Q&A with Dr. Denny Carter.
We gotta fix the hair in that photo, though. I don't know why.
Come on,
Denny
Jimmy.
has real hair. I don't know
does.
why he has fake hair in this photo.
What's on Tap is brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Sundays are easy to enjoy when they are full of football, and the fridge is filled with beer, and we're going to make it even easier for you by taking some of your questions. But before we do, how about the Week 8 Fantasy Football Happy Hour regular power rankings? Clark Brady, distant cousin of Brady Cook, still number one. Still.
It's a strong week for Raise the Flags. I'm not surprised he's up to. Aloha Bricks. Obviously, these rankings were done before the last comment, which would have lowered him a spot or two, honestly, in my ranks. This one is shocking to me. I have to talk to the committee. Jonathan Medici, who I thought had an unbelievable week.
Really good week.
To drop 2 spots, it's outrageous.
But he said the bar's so high.
I don't know what the committee is looking at there as well. Mr. T up 1, Tej down 2 spots, Ved. But how about a couple of people making their regular power ranking debut? Julio Think You Are at 10, Heavy Meat Sauce at 8. They're back in after not being on the list last week. Valiant Vincent down 2 spots to number 9. Couple others receiving votes. Aloha Bricks asking, what's the panic level on JD5 besides the injury? I'm talking about rest of the season here.
Yeah, I mean, this is our first question here for What's on Tap. I mean, you got to be concerned that this just feels like little things starting to add up in an offense that hasn't been as smooth of an operation. And part of that is the injuries around him as well. So for Jayden Daniels right now, this was kind of the concern of him as a prospect, is that he has a slender frame. He's taken some hits. I'm not panicking to the level of like, oh, it's over. But you need an alternate plan right now, because I think this is something that can kind of linger or come back up again.
The issue is that, so the reporting has been pretty optimistic that he may only miss 1 week, but the problem is if you go to 3-5 and it becomes a lost season down the stretch, is he 100% going to be there and play through all this stuff? And it's not just this, like, he missed time earlier in the season as well.
Yes.
Last year he was playing through these rib issues, so it just seems like he's constantly banged up. And this season I would worry that while he played through stuff last year because they were going 12-5 and being a playoff contender, he may not play through as much if they don't have a season to fight for in the final month.
And I've said this before about, as much of a homer as I am about the Commanders, last year everything that could have gone right for Washington did. They won a bunch of one-score games. They stayed relatively healthy. And so this year they're not having the same sort of luck, obviously, right? They are, it's not just Jayden Daniels. They've had injuries on both sides of the ball. Obviously Deebo Samuel, obviously Terry McLaurin missing time. And so they've just, to your point, it's not only that is Jayden Daniels 100% healthy, but is the offensive line going to be healthy? Can he get production out of the run game? Can he get wide receivers out there? I mean, like last week he was thrown to Chris Moore and Luke McCaffrey. I mean, so I think assuming they lose this game, they're 3-5. I don't think that Jayden Daniels suddenly shuts it down at 3-5.
No.
But if they go to 3-7, they're not out of it just yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think and his competitive spirit, but yes, if you're sitting there looking ahead to the fantasy playoffs, if you manage to, unlike my team in our league that has Jayden Daniels as his quarterback and is not in playoff contention, but if you are in playoff contention and you have Jayden Daniels, you start thinking ahead of okay, what happens if this guy gets shut down?
Yeah,
Something to think about.
I think
it's a slim chance, but it's definitely a non-zero chance.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much this injury, which seems like a fairly minor hamstring that he can return from. It's the next.
That's my point.
If there's a next hit and they're in position where the playoffs are getting out of reach. So, yeah, I mean, I'd probably rather have Drake May than Jayden Daniels rest of the season, right? Because I'm pretty confident that Drake May is going to be the guy the rest of the season. The Patriots are in playoff contention, and these injuries for Jayden are concerning.
No doubt.
Our next question from Nick Cohen. Should I trade Javonte and J-Mo for Drake London and Alvin Kamara? What do you think about this one, Matthew? It's kind of a pretty balanced proposition.
It is. It's, you know what? I think I would do that, and I'll tell you why. Because I think Jameson Williams is useless. So he is in fantasy. You can't start him. So it's really Javonte Williams for Drake London and Alvin Kamara. Javonte Williams is a fringe RB1. Drake London is a fringe wide receiver 1. I think they're they're both top 12-ish at their position. So then you're telling me, would I rather have Alvin Kamara who's like a flex-ish running back versus Jameson Williams.
So the floor's a lot better on that situation. Yep.
Yes, I think I would rather have Kamara and Drake London than Javonte and Jamo. Again, depending, it's hard to say without knowing roster construction and all that, but just in a vacuum, London and Kamara are more valuable as a combo than Javonte and Jameson Williams.
Yeah, I think what flips this from a maybe to a yes is Kendre Miller going down for the season. And the fact that Alvin Kamara seems pretty adamant that he's not getting traded. Right. So he's going to be the guy going forward in New Orleans. And yeah, in a nutshell, I'd still rather have Drake London than Javonte Williams, I think.
Yeah. For sure. The other thing is that I think Jordan Schultz was tweeted out that watch Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed both on the trade block. So again, if something like that happens, Kamara becomes even more a part of, this bad offense of your formerly beloved team.
Yes, formerly.
This next one from Darren Weatherford. Tez Johnson, Woody Marks, or Romeo Doubs in the flex in a PPR league?
I think this one's close, but I'm going to go with Romeo Doubs. Dobby.
Number one Dobby, yes.
Yes. In the Dobby Power Rankings. We'll see him Sunday night live at Acrisure Stadium if I'm allowed in. But since week 4, he's the 7th best wide receiver in fantasy, averaging 17.8 fantasy points per game. 3 straight games now with 8 or more targets, 5 or more receptions. Steelers very quietly allowing the 6th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. That secondary isn't what we thought it was going to be at the start of the year.
No, they can't cover. Darius Slay, Jalen Ramsey at this point of his career.
Older.
They're old. And it's not Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but Romeo Doubs, he gets open, particularly in the end zone.
Yeah, I think those two guys, especially because we've talked about Golden's been up and down. The other guys are banged up, even if Wicks plays. So it's really going to be Doubs and Tucker Kraft, I think, in the passing game for Jordan Love and the Packers.
That'll do it for What's on Tap, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And speaking of Pittsburgh, Sunday night, Aaron Rodgers faces Green Bay for the first time ever in his career as the Pittsburgh Steelers host Jordan Love and the Packers Sunday, 7 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. We're taking our last break, but coming up next, we have our best picks to impress Matthew. Pickup lines after this. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use promo code FFHH when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook.
Whose crown is it?
The crown is yours.
Interesting.
It's time for last call.
Fascinating.
Didn't know which way that was going.
Jay and I got our pickup lines for Matthew.
Yes.
What do you got, Jay?
Okay, I'm going to go shockingly with the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, there it is.
You are a Colts man.
Ride the wave.
Let's stay in the AFC South, my favorite division by far. I'm going to take Jonathan Taylor under 20.5 rushing attempts. And here is why. He only averages 18.7 on the season, despite the fact that the Colts seemingly win every game and have amazing game script. But the only 2 times he's gone over this number this year are against the Cardinals and the Broncos. Both were one-score games, very close late. In the Colts, their 4 blowout wins. He's had 18, 17, 17, and 16. 17, including 17 against the Titans the first time they played. This Colts offense is just so dominant. He doesn't have to play in the fourth quarter. They don't need to give him 21 carries. I say this unironically. The Indianapolis Colts are playing to win the Super Bowl. They don't need to give Jonathan Taylor 21 carries and a blowout win over the Titans, so he goes under 20.5 rushing attempts.
Can I interest you in some Kayshon Boutte, Matthew? Yes.
I always like Boutte.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over the last 2 weeks, utilization scores going up, 75% route participation. His average depth of target is 21 yards over the last 2 weeks. His number for receiving yards this week, guys, 29.5 receiving yards. Fantasy Life projects him to have right around 47. This is one of the biggest disparities on the entire prop board this week. Drake May's been slinging it. I'm going to take Boutte to get over 29.5.
So I like both of those, but they're playing against Cleveland, which is tough, and I just feel like sometimes it's a Boutte game, sometimes it's a Diggs game. Every once in a while, Hunter Henry shows up. So I'm actually going to go home with Jay.
All right.
As well. Well, listen, Tennessee is so terrible as well. This game's in Indianapolis. The line's now 14.5. So,
Yummy.
I mean, I'm with you. I think that he sits in the fourth quarter. They don't need to give him 21 touches, 21 carries. I like the under on 20.5 rushing attempts for Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
I'm sure he'll get another 3 touchdowns because according to you, that happens every single week.
It does.
Yeah,
That's how good he is. He broke records.
but I like your bet as well. I like the Boutte.
Going against your own website.
Yeah, I'm not going against my own website. There's also
18-yard difference.
Why do you hate FantasyLife.com?
Yeah, now everyone's wondering.
You can get a free subscription to FantasyLife.com. Go to FantasyLife.com/comment and get a Tier 2 subscription for an entire year, $100 value for free if you just go to FantasyLife.com/comment, and you can get all of our free bets. I'll bet both of those. Absolutely. I may make a late Boutte call to you after I'm done with Jay in Pittsburgh. But we're gonna have a magical night in Pittsburgh as well. Nico Collins didn't practice today. My guess is he's out. Bucky Irving, Chris Hodden, both officially out.
Dalton Schultz done.
Yes, that music means it's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Jay and I and Lawrence are in Pittsburgh Sunday morning. We'll see you at 11 a.m. Eastern. But for Connor and Jay, I'm Matthew. Good luck this weekend. We'll see you tomorrow. Happy birthday, Samantha and Brooke. Good luck. Peace out.